The moment you see this guard's red 2025 Porsche 911 Carreras waiting under the Atlanta sun, one question jumps straight into your mind. How can a sports car that costs more than a C8 Corvette possibly justify the difference? That question becomes even louder when you know this very car is about to be driven through Georgia and into North Carolina for a legendary Porsche gathering. So before we let this journey begin, let me show you why this updated 911 might be the most complete version of the Carrera S ever built. And before we dive in, tap the like button to support the Next Gear channel so we can keep bringing you the cars that matter. The 911 has existed since the 1960s, yet it still feels young every time Porsche evolves it. This refreshed 992.2 generation is proof. Porsche kept the shape familiar, but the upgrades are immediate. The headlights are cleaner and now fully self-contained in their redesigned housings. The front end is wider and sharper, breathing through rectangular openings that look almost carved into the bumper. There is even a safety divider in the center, which feels odd until you remember Porsche engineers think about everything. A new night vision module sits on the nose. Useful, yes, but visually awkward. Still, nothing hides the unmistakable 911 stance. You can identify this silhouette even on another planet. The wheels on this one are the optional RS Spider design in a flat gray that plays beautifully against the guard's red paint. 6-piston calipers clamp down on rotors borrowed from the previous GTS model. Porsche active suspension management lowers the chassis and adapts every millisecond to the road beneath you. Add rear-wheel steering and the car responds to direction changes almost as if the road bends around it, rather than the other way around. The proportions get even better toward the back. Wide rear fenders, deep cooling vents, that movable spoiler, the signature light bar, and a dual-outlet sport exhaust that looks ready to inhale the road behind it. Lift the small rear hatch, and you see almost nothing, which is exactly the point. The magic sits beneath. A 3-liter flat-six with twin turbos now produces 473 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque. That is a solid jump over last year with the help of new turbochargers and reworked intercoolers. 0 to 60 arrives in 2.9 seconds, the quarter mile in 11.4, and the top speed reaches 191 miles per hour. For a car that weighs only about 3,424 pounds, every number paints the same picture: precision, balance, purpose, you. Feel the decades of development the moment you read those figures. Inside, the story becomes even sharper. Porsche buyers commonly add around $40,000 in options, and this car is no exception, landing at an MSRP of $178,000. That number stings for a moment until you sit inside. The leather is beautifully stitched, the panels feel carved rather than molded, and the design shows restraint in all the right places. The Q folder hides elegantly. The clock from the Sport Chrono package sits like a small crown on the dash. The 10.2-inch infotainment screen is crisp, fast, and easier to use than ever. The cameras look so clear that you almost forget you are looking at a screen at all. The toggle switches feel metallic and mechanical. The front axle lift is a priceless option for everyday roads. The only interior miss might be the razor-style shifter. Everything else feels exactly as a modern 911 should. The 18-way seats adjust in ways you did not know seats could adjust. The rear is small, but perfect for a child, a backpack, or even a giant prize from a carnival, if that is your style. Behind the wheel, everything makes sense. Visibility is wide. The new digital cluster replaces the analog tachometer, and while that may break the heart of purists, Porsche shaped the display with a natural curve, so you still feel the sense of physical dials. The tachometer stays in the center where it belongs. The drive mode selector sits on the wheel next to the extra boost button that grants 20 seconds of sharper throttle response. The paddles are metal and perfectly sized. Every control falls exactly where your hands expect them to be. Once you switch to Sport Plus, the car transforms. The PDK transmission shifts almost telepathically. The rear wheel steering tightens your line through long sweepers. The chassis stays flat and composed even when the road tries to unsettle it. The turbos spool early, delivering torque in a smooth wave that pushes cleanly to 7,500 RPM. The sound, the flat 6, is subtle at idle and alive under throttle, as if the engine waits patiently for you to unlock its personality. On the highways of northern Georgia, the Carrera S feels like a grand touring car. On the twisting sections, it becomes a precision instrument. Each corner sharpens your trust. Each downshift reinforces your confidence. The car communicates from the front axle to the back with clarity that very few sports cars have ever matched. And as the convoy of 911s makes its way toward Durham for the air-cooled celebration of Luft 11, the thought becomes impossible to ignore. This is the living evolution of one idea, shaped over decades, refined by experience, perfected through persistence. The 1998-993 was the last air-cooled 911. Yet this 2025 model carries that DNA forward in a way that feels respectful, modern, and absolutely addictive. It proves that evolution can be emotional. It proves that engineering can feel alive. And it proves one more thing too. When a car drives this well, the price difference from a Corvette stops being the point. The point is how it makes you feel. Let me know in the comments if this is the 911 you would choose, or if another model pulls you more strongly. And before you go, support the Next Gear channel by tapping the like button so we can keep bringing you machines that deserve the spotlight. I appreciate you for riding along. I will see you in the next drive.